What's happening, everybody, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Open Studio, coming to you right here on your favorite DSTV channel 263. With myself, I go by the name of Brad Rowan, and today we'll be chatting all about CPR, because it is, of course, CPR Awareness Week, currently happening right here in Cape Town, South Africa. And to help us in that, we are joined by yet another amazing guest who goes by the name of Kathy, who will be giving us all the ins and outs with regards to CPR and CPR Awareness Week. Kathy, welcome to Open Studio.
Hi, nice to be here.
Fantastic. Now, before we get into our actual conversation with regards to CPR Awareness Week, can you please just tell us a little bit about yourself and also the work that you're doing?
I live here in Cape Town, have all my life, and I run a company that runs training for the public and for healthcare providers. But today I'm really representing the Resuscitation Council.
Yeah. Now, CPR, we all know what it is, but from an expert or rather professional point of view, how do you define the word CPR?
The CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So we want to get someone's heart and their lungs functioning again, so we can keep blood functioning, pumping around the body, keeping the brain alive, and that's really what it's all about. Very simple.
Wow. And it's also very essential for each and every one of us to actually know how to do CPR, because when it comes to that point in that situation where you have to save a life, then at least you know what to do, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, in South Africa, a very small percentage of the country actually know how to do CPR. Very few have gone to a course. And of course, disasters happen every day. They happen when you aren't planning for them. So that's the whole purpose of CPR Week and CPR Day, to try and take CPR to the public, to make them more aware that how to call for an ambulance and what to do in the meantime, and even how to make the decision. Do you start CPR or don't you? So that's what we're focusing on now.
Yeah. And also, Kathy, please tell us more about the Awareness Week, which of course is running as from this whole week. When exactly was it established, and also the aim as to why it was established?
Well, I think the Resuscitation Council got CPR Week put into the health national calendar about 5 years ago. So for the last 5 years, we've been doing all sorts of bizarre things to try and get the public to pay attention. So we've had flash mobs in Golden Acre, which was a lot of fun, and lots and lots of people on mannequins doing CPR in the middle of the shopping centre. And we've had, on other years, we've done presentations at or public demonstrations at lots of shopping centres around the country. And this year we're doing it slightly differently.
Yeah. So, and also, guys, a little bit later on the show, Kathy will, of course, give us a short demonstration on actually how to do an actual CPR, so very stay tuned to that. And also, Kathy, a very important question I want to ask you also is, what would you say is the purpose of, because it is, of course, Awareness Week of CPR, what would you say are the purpose of actually having this week and to educate us as a community, as a society?
Most people like yourself haven't actually had the opportunity to get into a class where they've been taught how to do it on a mannequin. And so my background is in EMS for 21 years. You'd arrive at calls on a regular basis where the family wouldn't have known how to start CPR and nothing is being done. So if the ambulance gets there 10 minutes late, 20 minutes later, the patient has no chance at all. The only chance that patient has is if you know who to call and what to do in the meantime. So we're trying to this week take the CPR and the mannequins into where the public are. So we're in shopping centres and in the harbours, at NSRI bases across the country. We're doing presentations in children's homes, and we're trying to say, come, get on the floor, let me show you how to do compressions. Because once they've done it, they're going to go, this is not difficult, anybody can do it.
Yeah, and also before we started the show today, as I told you that I have no idea how to CPR. If I get to that situation, I'll probably run out of the room, which is not okay.
No.
But for our viewers watching today's show, Kathy, they want to do CPR. Would you say it's essential for one to do some sort of training or do a course to actually learn how to do this?
I think first prize is registering on a course and sitting, a couple of hours aside to get on the floor, practice the skills on an adult and a child and a baby, learning how to manage a choking patient. The first prize is having a course, but obviously not everybody can get there. Not everybody can afford a course. So the real basics of CPR, which I'll demonstrate for you just now, is doing chest compressions. To know where to put your hands on the chest and how deep to push and how fast to push, and to keep pushing, because that'll push the blood around the body until the ambulance arrives and somebody more professional takes over from you.
And also, Kathy, when exactly does one perform CPR, in what situation?
when a patient collapses for some reason and they're unconscious, they're not responding and they're not breathing, as a lay person, you're just required to put your hands on their chest and start CPR. You don't need to make a diagnosis of what the cause was. If they're not breathing and they're unresponsive, that's enough for you to go, let's do CPR.
Awesome. I can also please share with us with our viewers, some of the values and principles that you, not only you yourself, but also you guys as an organization follow.
So the Resuscitation Council functions in a couple of different ways. And the one is really, we represent South Africa on international bodies like ILCOR, International Liaison Committee on Resuscitation. So we represent South Africa on those meetings, and out of those meetings they collect the science around the world and decide what the science is really saying in the research, and then we try and guide CPR so that the practice that happens in the hospital up the road here at Groote will be following the latest international guidelines. So part of it is being a liaison between what's happening internationally in resuscitation. Then we sit here in South Africa with experts and have a consensus meeting. What are we going to teach here? It's all very well, that's what America is doing, but what suits our local environment with our local needs in Africa? So the other half of the thing is our goals are really to then take that and circulate that to everybody who's in resuscitation training. So we don't keep that information for our council. It then is the guideline for universities and medical schools and all the other organizations teaching CPR in South Africa.
Wow, guys, we're having such an awesome time right here in studio, as today we of course chatting all about CPR Awareness Week with Kathy in studio. But don't go anywhere, because a little bit later on, so please stay tuned for that. Kathy will obviously give us like a demonstration on how to do an actual CPR. I'm so looking forward to that. Guys, let's have a quick ad break. Do not go anywhere, because when we come back, there's more action right here at Open Studio. We'll see you back in a bit.